I still remember the first year when I did it. It was very scary because no one has done it before. As much as I can, I just looked at all the other countries and I noticed that there is a chance. Now, when you know little, that's where it gets dangerous because you think you know.
Yeah, my parents 冇咁大個乜嘢隨街跳啊，冇咁急
冇咁大隻蛤乸隨街跳。
Hello everyone, welcome to V on Air's podcast series, The Whole Story. My name is Natalie Chai, and through this podcast, we're looking to speak to Malaysians of impact and listen to their side of the story. If you're tuning in from rwgenting.com's website, welcome. And if you're strolling around Resorts World Genting while listening to this, we hope you'll share some good vibes with us on social media at Resorts World Genting. Today, on The Whole Story, we're joined by one of Malaysia's most recognizable voices in personal finance, Peter Yong, the co-founder of Mr. Money TV. From starting out in insurance sales to building one of the country's leading financial edutainment platforms, Peter has helped thousands of Malaysians make smarter, more confident decisions about their money. Today, we'll learn more about his journey, his storytelling, and what it means to make finance truly accessible for everyday Malaysians. Welcome to the show, Peter.
Hello, Natalie. Thank you very much for having me.
Hello, Peter. Very, very good to see you. I've always recently just caught up with you via just the videos, right? So, okay, Peter, to start off, could you please tell us a little bit about your background and what was your course of study and how did you end up doing all of this?
So, I actually am a PJ boy in terms of location. Grew up in Petaling Jaya. And I went to university, did a double major called Business Development and Human Development and Business Management. Yeah, it's so long ago that I almost forget the name of the course. Basically, it's a combination of social science plus business management. So that gave me a good glimpse of how human behaves and also at the same time how money works. Yeah, that set the base. And subsequently, I came onto the workforce and I worked in HR for a while. But after about 6 months, I realized that working for people is not really the thing for me. So I decided to get myself into business. And during the time, because it was in the 2010, 2012, like that, there was no such thing as there were e-commerce, but it wasn't a popular thing. And most of the time, if you do not have capital, the easiest option is to be an insurance agent or property agent, or something like that. And I decided to plunge into the world of insurance agent because during that time I had an episode where I was admitted into hospital and I did not have an insurance.
So, medical insurance.
That's right.
Okay.
So that kind of hit me and I thought, oh, wow, I think it's quite important right now, right? So I did that for about 10 years subsequently, took up my registered financial planning license as well. And I was advising people, helping them to plan their money, talking about both insurance planning and investment planning in unit trust. So that's how I got started with the world of finance.
So, and what led to you deciding that, hey, I want to make content to help people with their finance, daily life about finance?
So what happened was about 8 years in, I was doing quite well. You know how usually when you have an agency, you traveling around the world and stuff like that. So things were quite good, but it kind of hit me at the point like, do I really want to keep doing this every year, needing to do sales again? So I started rethinking what do I really want to do in life, and I realized that what truly makes me happy is when I explain to people about money, when I explain to things like about life and everything, educating people and seeing their eyes just shine up and say, oh wow, now it works, right?
In real life conversations.
In real life conversation, because every day you meet about like three people. So 1 year I'll meet about 1,000 people. So 8 years doing that, I can easily say even with holidays, I probably meet about 5,000 people at least, right?
Wow.
Yeah. So, and that gave me a sufficient base to know that I truly enjoy when I get to educate someone and seeing someone's life change or someone understand something and it helped them to make better decisions. But what I did not quite like is every year I need to chase a sales target. And so in the year of 2017-18, it was still the beginning of digital revolution. I remember that time we saw people like the Ming Ting coming out, Genie Boy starting to do short films.
YouTube era.
The YouTube era, right? Wong Fu production, all this. And you'll never in your life you thought that you will be talking about finance on screen, right? And I recall in 2018, something happened. Facebook allowed people to attach a YouTube link and it will appear as a video.
I remember that.
Remember
I
that
remember
time?
exactly that
Right.
that moment, yes.
Yeah, it was like so revolutionary, right? And then because of that, many of the traffic were channeled to watching YouTube. Yeah, so I was one of them, and I started watching a lot of YouTube, learning things on YouTube, from biographies to all sorts of stuff. And in 2018, suddenly it just hit me like, hey, what if I can just talk about it online? And that's one of the things that crossed my mind. The other part was I was thinking to myself like, hey, I think things are going to change. What if one day I can build a fintech ecosystem that works, where people don't have to say just meet an agent or financial planner. They can do everything online and they can be educated online, so that it's much more affordable and accessible for any person. And because I didn't know how to do coding, and I thought, well, now you can attach a link there and I'm watching YouTube. Will it work? And so I started looking all around. And I noticed that time in the US, there was this guy called Graham Stephan. And he had about 80,000 followers. Today he has about I think 6 million or 4 million.
80,000 at a time is a lot.
Yeah, 80,000, right? And I thought to myself, in the US market where a population of 300 million or 300 million, 300 million population, you have 80,000. Wow, and 80,000 was quite a lot at the time. So I thought it could work, right? And I started going out and I talked to people, hey, do you watch YouTube? And some of them say, hey, I watch this guy called Graham Stephan. Then I was like, you're Malaysian and you're watching a US content, right? Then I started searching, is there any Malaysian content? And I noticed there are one or two content, but they weren't focused in building it. They were just doing it for fun. And so I thought I think there could be a gap there. And I remember also during that time I saw a few things was some brands started using influencers instead of celebrity. It started to open up in that sense. And
But also talking about finance.
I know, talking about lifestyle stuff.
Just lifestyle? Oh,
Yeah, just lifestyle stuff.
okay.
So, for example, they could be a bank and they want to talk about certain financial products, but they were using lifestyle creator. And you can see, obviously, the lifestyle creators struggle to explain some of the things. So, it could be only at the branding level, right? It couldn't be at the education level. And I thought that maybe one day it will shift to that direction. So, the best case scenario is if I can build up a team, I can build a fintech ecosystem, fantastic. But worst case scenario, I'll just be famous and I'll be in some ads, right? And I guess that is what set me out, and that happened.
That's how you started off, right?
That's how I started off, and
Because,
the rest is history, right?
I've still seen, sometimes I end up in your older videos. I'm like, wow, actually Peter has done this for such a long time. He looks like a baby in the initial videos. For those of you who are listening to this, just go and look at Peter's older videos. In there, it's like, wow, you've really come a long way just looking at those videos. But that guy there, how did he know that this will work? Meaning to say that you may not be paid to just make content. So you set out a goal to do good so that brands can come to you. What was the financial goal of building this platform for yourself?
I still remember the first year when I did it. It was very scary because no one has done it before. The most famous people you see is either Genie Boy, and most of them were DJ becoming influencers, remember? Right? And I thought, will this really work? And as much as I can, I just looked at all the other countries and I noticed that there is a chance. There is a chance, maybe 30 to 40% chance that it could succeed. And then you just got to be crazy enough to believe that if you keep doing it, it could happen. So up to today, there's this saying that really hit me by a friend. He said this, when you pursue something, you only need 30% confidence. If you have 50% confidence, you're a little bit too late to the game. When you have 80%, you better don't go in. It's already saturated.
Done.
I think it's the same, right? If you talk about content creation world today, when it becomes so obvious, every other day you see a new content creator pop out. And it takes so much more to be famous today. But back then,
So easy.
yeah, we were just, and we didn't even really see it as a business. We were just having fun, right? And it, somewhere or another, it led to one another, and today we are being paid to do gigs, right? I think one of the things that if you want to start something new as well, you need to have this attitude that you are extremely optimistic about things. Not naive, but optimistic. Okay, what do I mean by that? You see, whenever you want to start something new, right, all you can do is hope that it will happen. There are hints, there are signs. I bet when you first started, you already kind of see signs, right? You saw like how Maggie was, this and that, hang out with certain people and see, hey, how come the guy is supposed to be working as an engineer, but he came out and then start doing content and he seems like he's making a good living and it seems like brands are inquiring for it. There has to be something that's happening in the market, right? But will it happen to me? That's the big question there, right? Now, and at that point, you need to have this optimism to say, you know what? Whether is it going to do well or not, I'm going to keep trying and just have fun. And I believe it will be. It's just that optimism. But this is different from being naive. Naive as in, when you look at all the data, and this hasn't even happened yet, then that is a whole different story, right? Like, for example, if you chose to be a full-time MC and an influencer when there was none, and there was not even celebrities, then you say, I want to be a full-time creator. Then you have a problem because that's called being naive. You do not know what's happening. Now, and with that in mind, right, I think anyone who actually start a business, you need to look at the surroundings, look at the market, look at your own ability as well. Obviously, one of it is I like to talk.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's very important.
Yeah, that's very important, right? There has to be a match. If I don't like to talk, I don't like to see people, no matter what opportunity, also no use, right? Then once you see these two match and there is a chance of it happening, then that's the moment that you need to ask yourself, am I going to take a bet? Yeah, that's what I did. By 2019, when I was doing it, the interesting thing was that I was actually very scared. So I would record videos in the morning with my co-founder at the point, and in the afternoon I would go and drive lorry. Why? Because I had a friend who actually owns a number of warehouse and he has a logistic business, and he wonder if I can help him with it and maybe even take over, right? So it looks like a much more better prospect than setting a media company, right?
Something the more quote unquote stable.
Yeah, stable and solid. So in the afternoon, I will go out and drive the lorry. I will load up the lorry. So imagine, right? It's a whole different character. I still have some of those old pictures. Yeah. And one day when I met this friend who just came back from Taiwan, and I was sharing with him what I thought about the industry, and he was and then he just told me this thing. He said, "Hey Peter, I think we're wasting time." I was like, "What do you mean?" He said, "If you believe in your idea so much, why are you wasting time driving lorry, doing this, doing that? Just focus on it, give it 1 year. You must remember everything you do compounds. And even you think that you're not recording a video, after that you're meeting people, just sharing with people what you believe the future is, that somehow will compound into something. But you got to give it a year." And that hit me. And I was like, I cried, He was telling me at the side of the road. And I was just crying at the side of the road, I was bawling out like a baby, right?
Because?
Yeah, because I had a kid at the point. And financially, I know it's tough. And my wife wasn't working at the point. So it's like, you got to make a choice. You got to go all in. So I still remember I got in the car, I called my wife and I say, "Look, love, I'm so sorry. I think I'm going to go into this full time, right? I'm going to give it all. But this means that you got to go back and work. Yeah, are you okay with that? Just give me 1 year." Yeah, and I mean, obviously it was a difficult feeling. She was like, "Yeah, I know, let's do it, But I also feel like that. Then we had a long negotiation talk, and eventually she went out and worked, and I focused with him for 1 year, and today we are where we are.
My God, I never knew that side of the story. So actually, you were trying to be safe and trying to juggle both at the beginning.
Yes.
But then at the end, a friend just told you to take the plunge and you just took that leap of faith.
Yep.
Wow, that truly is a leap of faith because you had a kid, you had a commitment.
Oh yeah, it was scary, man.
Oh wow, very very inspiring. But like through all of this, as you are doing, right, even from the beginning till now, I'm sure there's been obstacles or challenges, especially in this topic of finance. whether it comes to research or credibility or whether people believe what you talk about, there's just so many things in my head that could go wrong as a finance content creator or an expert like yourself. Could you share with us some of the challenges that you've gone through as leading the channel?
Right. I think just like you say, because our content is much more about carrying out knowledge and education. So information accuracy, is it well thought of? All these are very important. So when it was me in the earlier stage, I alone, it was much easier because I run all the research, I do everything, no problem.
So you already know that.
I already know.
You already know that the credibility of the information that you're
Yes,
sharing.
because I was a practitioner, right? Then there are times that, yes, you will make mistakes. It happens. But I would say those are occasional stuff, right? Then you just need to rectify it. And also, sorry, I give the wrong information. Come up with another video. Not too big a problem. I think the biggest challenge later was about scaling a team where you need to make sure that your team also can carry out the same standard. Yeah, I think that was where I had to learn a lot. Our team made a lot of mistakes. Come out with certain information not checked well, and because it's all represented under my face, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so
it's Mr. Money TV.
Mr. Money, yeah. Then I think that was the biggest challenge to actually make sure that your team comes out with good content.
Right.
Yeah, and I think my earliest mistake was that when I first built it, I had this idea that we are building a media company, so we hire media people. And then you try to force media people to be interested in finance content. I think that was the difficult part, right? So nowadays, we try to change the method where it comes to creative side. We really focus on people who are from finance. So they're not creatives. We let the creative do the creative part. The research, the content, we let the research guys do it. The banking guys, the money guys do it. They may not come out with the best storyline, but information accuracy, interests are there, and from there, learning creative is easier than the other way around.
Yes, correct. Understand.
Yeah.
So the process of you guys doing this is you will do research for how long? Maybe a week or a few days before your show?
So it depends on who's the person that you bring in. Like I do notice there's a significant difference between a senior and a junior, right? Let's say someone is new, it will take like probably a week for them to research. If you're looking at someone who has been in the market for very long, they know exactly how things are and everything's at the tip of their fingers. A day, it will do the job. Yeah. So it really comes down to how good this person is at their job. Now, that's the first part of the research. You're not talking about the remaining, to refine the story and so on. So generally, when you want to talk about a good piece of content, it could come up to about like a week and that's just developing the script, right? To come up with a good story. That's about a week. Then plus your shoot, everything, or it could come out to another week. Yeah, so our turnaround time for per video is really about 2 weeks if you're talking about really, really good.
Also it makes sense because it has to be quite timely when it comes to finance sometimes.
That's right.
Especially certain topics.
That's right. Yeah, but these days, let's say if depend on the topic, like some of the more simple topics, turnaround time is way lower. You're talking about a day, 2 days, then we can get it out. Because for example, if you're talking about how to invest 1,000 ringgit today, right? I don't need too much of research about that. It's pretty much there. But we are saying that let's talk about the rise and fall of a particular brand, right? That will require quite a lot of research.
Yes, because you need to go through their history and
That's
everything that's happened, right?
That's right.
For sure. Oh, interesting.
With AI helps a lot, though.
You really think so? So as part of your research, I think how does AI help you in this sense?
Oh, I would say that last time, there were times that if it's a difficult script, it take me about 2 weeks to 3 weeks. That's why today the time cut short so much. Even difficult script, 1 week we can get it done. Because AI is, you try to think of AI, I think there's 2 ways to look at AI. Some people use AI as a brain. Brain as in the director of everything. I think those people are going to fail. Yeah. Those people who use AI as in the context of a media person is like a producer or research, someone who just produce a show for you. You're going to make it because you know exactly what you want. You're giving specific instruction. Let's say I want to research about a company. I already have a structure in my head, right? Like, okay, first I want to know about the background of this founder. Who's the founder? What is the background? What are some of the incidents that was quoted in papers and his books that talks about the things that affected him to make the choices he made today? You see, I'm that specific. Then I tell the AI to do it. Then it's very fast. Within 2 minutes, it gives me what I need. Compared to last time, I can write all this down. Then it'll take me 3 weeks to go through every single thing, right? Yeah. So this is where AI helps you to save a lot of time as an assistant. Like last time, I want to crunch data. I want to know, like, hey, it seems like my theory here is when there is more childbirth, economy does better, right? Could you give me data on this? It can crunch the number for me, right? But comparing to like back then, you need to go and look for research paper. Then you need to, if it's really, really that complicated, sometimes you abandon it because let's say I want to take two data. I want to run a coefficient. My goodness, where on earth am I going to find the
Find
software?
that information.
Right? The only time you use that software was back in university when you do your
Yep. We check.
right? But today you can just take out your Gemini, ChatGPT, whatnot, throw it in, and then just say, hey, run a coefficient study for me. Tell me, is there a relation? Right? And so I would say that, like, in these days of age, your ability to use AI and to be AI literate is extremely, extremely important in whatever industry you're going to be in.
Because it is truly the prompts that you feed the AI that gives you the different kind of information. You and I can be on AI and we can ask about some person in finance, but the amount of information that I get from the same AI and you is going to be completely different.
That's right.
And that's why I feel like maybe some listeners will be thinking, oh, if AI gives you all that information, then I can just ask AI and not watch a video.
Yeah.
But the truth is, but you don't actually know how to ask the right questions in order to get the information that you probably need to make your next best decision when it comes to a finance decision.
Yeah. Maybe to put it in a more structured manner, right? I've heard of this theory about learning where you don't know what you don't know, you know what you don't know, and then after that you move on to the next two. I think here's where AI shines, right? If you want to use AI, you gotta know what you don't know. When you don't know what you don't know, that is when, if you just blindly use AI, you're gonna get into trouble. And that's why a lot of juniors today, I bet you've worked with people, junior guys, right? People who just came out of work. They thought they can just use AI to cheat through the whole thing. That is when they get into trouble because they do not know what they don't know. And they just simply use it. So I would say that AI should be reserved also for those people who know what they don't know.
Should be reserved for people who
know what they don't know. I mean, in terms of using it at work, right?
That is so hard. Because I think a lot of people really, the world is so big, and there's just really truly so much information out there that we don't know.
That's right.
About anything at all. Like when it comes to finance, it sounds like such a scary thing, and for me to step into it, I've been asking people for years, I've been asking people for years, what do I do with my money? What do I do with my money? I don't know. Because nobody around me was financially literate. And it was so hard to find information. And when AI came, honestly, I started in the beginning of when AI, ChatGPT came about. And it's just very recently. Then I started asking ChatGPT, but I'm like, I don't even know if this is legit. So then at the end of the day, you really don't know what to ask. Because advice with an AI can be just so generic.
That's right.
In my opinion. So that's why you really need to know how to use the tool in order to make the best of it. That's my opinion. Right. Okay. So Peter, thank you for sharing all of that. But for this next segment, we're going to take a little short break because for every guest that comes on the show, we sort of want them to do a little show and tell, right? So I believe today you've brought 3 items that probably tells your story when it comes to your journey.
Yep.
Any part of your journey. So should we do that?
All right.
Okay.
Let's do that.
Okay, Peter, what do you have for us today?
All right. Let me show you the 3 things.
Okay,
that
first item.
matters to me. Okay, the first thing is this is about money. So these are AirPods, right? But these not real original AirPods. So in my early days, I used to buy cheap things because I try to save money, right? So instead of buying the real AirPods, I'll go and buy like 79 ringgit fake AirPods. And end of the day, after about 2-3 weeks later, it spoils. Then I will buy another one that's a slightly higher quality, maybe 130, right? So I thought it's a better.
Slow upgrades.
Then slow upgrades, right? And what happened is that it will have certain limitation that I couldn't accept, or maybe the sound is better, the mic is worse, stuff like that. So one day, after changing 3 or 4 AirPods, my wife cannot tahan anymore. She just bought me a real AirPod. Yeah. And that moment, it made me realize one thing. I already spent probably the price of 1.5 AirPod on cheap stuff.
On accumulating everything that could have
That's right.
replaced, could have been the AirPod itself.
In the name of saving money. And I realized that sometimes if you are trying to be penny wise, you become pound foolish, right? So you try to save up by buying cheap stuff. But at the end of the day, because you don't go for quality, it's not a great experience. I think relating it even to, say, experiences, holidays or whatnot. Somebody thought they want to get a cheap hotel just because it's cheap and stuff like that. But you probably tried this experience before. When you get a cheap hotel, you go there and it ruins your whole holiday, right? Yep. So these are the little things that made me remember that, hey, when you spend your money, it's not just about the price amount that you're paying, but about the quality that you're getting. That is something that's very, very important. Yeah. So item number 1.
I think that's very true, but also sort of like an upbringing situation where probably our parents have always taught us to save for later, save for next time.
That's right.
So we never really learn how to spend on the current quality of whatever that we buy.
That's right.
That's what I feel. Okay, second item.
Okay, second item, this is diapers.
So
Yeah.
cute.
So this is my baby's diaper. Now he doesn't wear it anymore. But because you bought so much, so there's extra at home, right? When I first uploaded my video on Mr. Money TV, it was the day that my first son was born.
What? The
Yes.
first video was when your first son was born.
Yes. So I still remember we were in a University Malaysia hospital. Because at that time I'm very poor, right? So we actually went to government. Yeah. So you are not allowed to accompany your wife up there, man. You just leave her up there and then you come down. So I took my laptop, I put up. Then after I bring my laptop down, then I started arranging the upload of the video, and then he was born. Yeah. So it's really quite an exciting time.
You had 2 babies on the same day.
Yeah, 2 babies on the
2
same day.
babies on
You
the
are
same
right.
day.
You are right.
Wow.
So ever since then, the rest is history. But why I bring this is also I believe and I hope I'm quite close to my kids. Where fun fact, because we did not have money to hire what do you call it?
Nanny, confinement.
Confinement lady, and we didn't send my wife to confinement center. So I was the confinement man.
Oh
And
my
that's why I
God.
bring this up. So I wash his backside, I shower him since he's a baby. Both my kids, I shower them, I feed them. I'm the one who make the soup for my wife, So what I want to say is this, like for those of you out there, if you're thinking about getting a kid, and you're actually thinking like, hey, is it okay that I can get kid even I may not look like I'm financially that stable? I think it's okay. If it happens, you happen to have it, it's fine. You'll survive through, right? And nobody says that you need a confinement lady. I'm so sorry, those who open confinement center and confinement lady. It's not a must, yeah. And a guy, yes, even as a guy, you can shower a 3-day-old baby. You will be able to do it. You will be able to do it. Yeah. So that's my.
For possibly new dads out there who's struggling to learn how to do all of this, was there a way you got advice from?
I think the best advice I got was from my business partner, Frankie. Yeah. So, you can watch YouTube on how to wash a baby, stuff like that. All those are different story, right? The main thing is, Frankie said this one thing to me that really hit me. He said, Peter, babies are very tough. My doctor tell me that if you leave a baby in the jungle for 3 days without water, your baby will survive. That is how tough a baby is, because they are born to survive. And so that kind of changed my whole perspective of it, where, when you're a new parent, you always think that your baby is very fragile. You want to coddle it so much. You're afraid to shower it not because you're afraid to shower, you're scared you hurt him. All these kind of things, right? And then you think that by paying someone else to do it, they're professionals. But guess what? He's right. A baby is born to survive. So it doesn't matter whether is it a professionally handling the baby or not. Definitely, I'm not saying that you're so dumb that you're going to feed your baby poison.
For sure.
You need to have some basic knowledge, right? But just by holding the baby, you won't break the baby. Yeah, because you're not throwing it like a football.
For
right?
sure.
So remember, your baby is as strong as you and even stronger than you.
Actually, it's, there's this one memory of me, of there's this one memory where that made me feel like, oh, actually babies are actually not that fragile. And it was me, and I learned this as a kid. It was when I was watching Tarzan as a kid.
Yes.
The baby was in the jungle house, the tree house, and then he was adopted by the monkey, the gorilla.
Yes.
And then the gorilla just carry everywhere on the arm. And that time when I was a kid, I was like, oh, actually, baby can just do it. And then I did the same thing to my brother, right? But like, that was my first impression of like, oh, actually, babies are not that fragile. But maybe there's certain truth in the animation. You guys can go and watch how the baby was handled. All right, that's the second item.
And my third item is book. This book is called Grit. Yeah, you've probably seen Angela Duckworth's TED Talk where she talked about grit. So this is by a researcher where her name is called Angela Duckworth. She did a study on across all American, quite a lot of American university. One of the most important is West Point, one of their top university. And they study what determines someone to be successful. What is the strongest determinant of success?
What determines how someone is successful?
What determines if someone will be successful?
Ah, okay.
Yes. So, and her answer to that was grit, right? And so let me just read you the subtitle here. It's a grit, why passion and resilience are the secrets to success. And why this book changed the way I think about things is, I think when we were young and as teenagers, we always think a lot of things comes down to talent, right? As long as you're talented, you'll do well.
You can do this and
You can do this and that. But many studies have shown that at the end of the day, talent is just one small part of it. A big part of it is when you have a passion in something and you don't give up. You can keep bouncing back, resilience. So, for example, when you play the piano, you couldn't get it, but you have developed the ability to say, okay, never mind, I'm going to take a break, come back, I'll do it again. Come back, I'll do it again. Come back, I'll do it again. And when you develop that ability, that will help you to be successful. So it's not about how smart you are, how great you are, how talented you are. You can be the dumbest person in the room. But if you're willing to be resilient and every time bounce back, it could make you successful. Yes, let's also acknowledge the fact that there could be a time where you see someone like Usain Bolt and you are Tyson Gay, right? Yeah, so that's another famous story. So Tyson works very hard for that running, but Usain Bolt is both hardworking and also talented. And so
that's why.
Tyson is always number two. Even though when Tyson broke the world record, but Usain broke it more than him.
So they both have grit, but
Yes.
the thing is, but it doesn't mean that if you have the talent, you will always be successful, because it needs to come with grit.
That's
you to
right.
be
It
at
needs
the
to come with grit. And so as long as you have passion in a particular thing, you can bounce back, you will do it well. And it's just like myself, when I look at it, a big part of my life, I don't really think I'm very talented in anything other than talking, right? Yeah. And I don't
Wow.
think talking I'm very talented as well. Like when I look at you, Natalie, the way you converse with me, I can see a version that like, wow, I wish I can be that. No, so
Oh,
I talk
really?
to-
I feel the same when I'm listening to you talk. I'm like, wow, Peter really has his thoughts very eloquently put.
Or only on particular subjects,
Okay.
but not on all the parts, right? Like when I look at Maggie, when I look at Jean, it's very well trained. I can see that they know how to maneuver the whole conversation, control it, and I think to myself like I'm not a very talented person, but I think I can outwork a lot of people. That is something that I'm willing to do. And so that's also the very same thing that I want to impart in my children and even my friends and people around me, that forget about talent. Just bounce back if you fail and just keep doing it and you'll get better at it.
Peter, I also want to share with you my first impression of you and why I felt you were very approachable. Also, maybe in your content, I think one thing that really shines through, besides the grit, because like I said, I've seen I've seen your videos when you were much younger. To me, lasting all the way till today, amongst the sea of content, that's great, and you definitely have that. But to me, what shines more a lot to me was your heart to help people. I felt it was more important for me that it felt like whatever you were telling me was genuine, and you wanted to make my decisions better for myself, rather than just simply saying, oh yeah, I can do this, I'm better, I'm good in finance, blah blah blah. So even if it was my first time meeting you, I think what makes you really stand out really is your heart for helping people through your content, and that is very obvious.
Thank you.
So
Thank you very much.
I wanted you to know.
Thank you very much. Means a
Alright.
lot.
Yeah, no, for sure. I don't know what others think, but that's what makes me feel attracted, or like maybe I lean towards the way you present your information. And that is some sort of talent, that you know how to put your heart through whatever you want to say in a way that I can digest it very easily. And I think that can only come when you have passion and heart.
Thank you.
I thought you needed to know that. Okay. So that is the 3 personal items that Peter has brought on the show. So hopefully that has given you a little bit of insight to who he is as a person. I think he's ultimately a dad, someone who really wants to do good through his hard work, and just someone who is really passionate about what he does. And I think that's what's so amazing about Peter. For the second segment of today's podcast, we can't bring you here without asking you about money. Okay, so I want to put a disclaimer. This is not necessarily financial advice. This is just sharing between Peter and I, okay? Because there's a lot of questions I want to ask today.
All right.
Okay, so Peter, I think what I've been curious about is, what do you think is the financial literacy in the society in Malaysia these days?
I think these days it's improving. Yeah, it's getting better. But it comes down to this scenario, right? You know what they say, if you know a little, it's actually worse than you know nothing sometimes.
Because
Yes.
you will do stupid things with the little?
That's right. Yeah. So to give you an idea, right? Let's say last time, if you do not know anything about finance, you may not even touch investment. So the worst thing is you just don't touch investment, right? That's all, right? Now, when you know little, that's where it gets dangerous, because you think you know. And this is where you're very vulnerable to scams. So these days, you will notice that scam is one of the biggest illegal industry in the world. I think it's already surpassed 500 billion. Yeah. Malaysia alone, I think or China alone, the other day I heard a report, it's about 300 billion that was being scammed just within a year or something like that.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Now, surprisingly, you will notice that many of the scam centers are operating in Southeast Asia. Well, some Malaysians are also contributions to it, Singapore as well, everywhere else, China as well, right? Now, the issue is this: they will prey on people who know a little. So they'll give you a call, they'll talk about it, and then you kind of like, yeah, I kind of know what that means. Could you explain further? No, this is the problem.
That is where they get you.
That's where they get you, because you only know half and you do not know half. You do not know how to distinguish between whether is it real or fake with the details. So I think that's the state of Malaysia's financial literacy. So overall, it's still a little bit low, and hopefully it can be increased. Because once you increase it, then the product varieties in the market will change, and naturally it will help Malaysia to reach a better place.
How do you think we can heighten this literacy?
I think currently there's already a lot of informal effort. Like, for example, myself doing financial content. There are also more and more financial content creators coming up, which I'm very happy, because it means that more and more people are watching, right? So that's one. But on the other hand, I think government need to also play a role by formalizing it within schools and so on. And I can see a lot of private schools are starting to look at it. Yeah. So it will be maybe a 5 years to 6 years down the road kind of thing. But I hope that it will happen this time round. Yeah.
Hopefully built into school systems as well.
Yes.
Right. I think it's very important, because, like I said, me coming up from school, I had zero idea of what to do with money. Do we all just save in the bank? There's just so many questions with nobody trustable to ask.
That's right.
So hopefully we see that in the school systems in the coming years. Okay, next question. So, do you also remember earning your first big financial milestone?
Oh yeah. Definitely the first time when you got it big that time was before Mr. Money TV because I did insurance, right? So, I mean, compare that big and today, then okay lah, now it's bigger. But the first time when you get it,
The first time.
it definitely feels great. When you first time you cross your first five-figure income, it feels like you're on top of the world. Yeah, you feel like you can achieve anything, but that feeling only lasts you for like half a day. Yeah, and after a while, then you would look around your friends and you realize that now you have a group of friends who five-figure are just a very normal figure.
Like an everyday thing.
It's an everyday thing, right? Then you realize that, oh, wow. Then you set your next chase. So I would say that doesn't end, like even until today, right? Whenever you hit, they like, oh, they look around, they go like, actually we are very small, right? So I would say that if that is gonna be your main benchmark in life, then you will struggle lah. Yeah, and number two, even after you hit it, please don't simply spend your money because it is, yeah, you're gonna get into trouble.
Yeah, which leads to my next question. So, how do you think people these days, I mean, how do they how do they achieve their financial goal? Do you think it's via saving or investing or a bit of both? What's your take?
I think it has to be a bit of both, and different people have a different kind of strategy to get there because it depends on income. So, for example, if you're someone earning about 20,000 a month, right? I think savings alone can make you quite rich. Because if you were to cut down a lifestyle, you live like a commando, probably you can save about like what, 15K? Yeah. You don't get any return also. I
Okay.
mean, a couple of years, you probably are a millionaire already, you know? Yeah. Now, but if you do not have a strong income, then you gotta really depend on savings. So there's this formula that I have, right? I always tell people this: wealth equals to effort times leverage.
Wealth equals to effort, time, and leverage.
Yeah, times
What is-
leverage,
Oh,
or either
okay.
effort times leverage equals
Oh.
to wealth, right? Yeah, I like to think in
What's a
terbalik.
leverage?
Okay, leverage means how much multiplication you're gonna get. Okay. Which, in other words, in the financial world, will be ROI, return on investment. Now, effort is how much you can put in. So every month when you save your money, that's an effort, right? Because you're cutting out from your active check. Every month you set aside, that's an active thing. So that's your effort. You save 1,000 ringgit a month, that's 1,000 ringgit in effort. Now, then what is the ROI on that number? If it is, say, 5%, that is 5% on 1,000, and that equals to your wealth accumulated, right? Now, the only way to make sure that you hit the wealth number is you adjust one of these two variables. If your effort is small, your ROI has to be big.
Higher, yeah.
If your ROI is small, then you make sure you put more effort. There is no other way to get there other than manipulating this formula. And once you understand this formula, you understand how wealth is built. Now, then you gotta understand definitely more in depth on what is the risk and reward of a higher leverage and lower leverage. Yeah, those are the more details and techniques.
Yeah, those are the little smaller details that you can also read up on, right? But then like you said, ROI percentage here and there. There's 5%, 6%. There's so many type of percentages there. Like you said just now, there's so many amount of scams out there and throwing out a lot of random percentages of ROI. I just want to know I don't even know if this question is a normal question, but I want to know what is a healthy percentage of ROI that is, typically okay when you want to make an investment.
Okay, I
Because
think
sometimes people may see like, 10%, okay ma, but maybe you're like, maybe put a flag there
okay,
first.
very good. So this is probably one of the best questions, right, when it comes to money. Because for most consumer, we don't really think about technicals. It is just what is normal, what's not. So what I can tell you is this. Any investment above 4% yet still guarantee you your capital is very good. Now, why we don't feel it is because Malaysia, we are unique. We give very high return for EPF. We give a pretty good return for ASB and so on. Other countries, you see 1-2%.
Yeah, I saw.
It's Malaysia being Malaysia, it's a history of subsidy and the rest of the things lah, to make it happen. Okay, so Malaysia, we can say the benchmark is KWSP giving you 6%, roughly about that. So that is the only time you're going to get a good return with capital guarantee. Okay. Now, but on a global standard, anything more than 4, it's not ready. It's risky. Okay. So now you think about it. If someone tell you 20% return, now that's way too high. Because now you already set the floor. Yeah. So I would say that stocks, if you look at S&P 500, it gets about 7 to 8%, and that is the general range that you should be looking at. Anything more than this, it means this person who's managing the investment or this particular asset is behaving like an outlier. It is not in normal range. Anything more than 10% is not in the normal range. You need to be quite active and you need to be quite good at it. Yeah. So when someone says 20 over percent, that means that the guy is actually very good.
Yeah.
Now,
That is if everything is legit.
if everything is legit. Now, and how do you know if something is legit? You can't see 1 year. You're going to see consistent years. Right? A number of years, what is the record? And then by the time you look at the record, it will always be an up and down. Now, what are the possibility that this person can perform above 10% for the past 5 years? So I can tell you this. If there's anyone who can give you above 10% for the past 5 years,
Yes.
chances are a proper institution like a bank or even big companies like BlackRock would have bought this thing over. So if that thing doesn't appear there and it's reserved to be given to you, something is fishy.
Something is wrong about it.
Something
right?
is fishy. Yeah, it's not likely, right?
Yeah.
Because think about it, if I can be making money at that kind of range, if I can make 18% a year, right? Chances are either a bank will take me over, or either I would have set up a proper fund and go through all these proper things. It will not be so
Out there for you
out
to just
there for you alone lah.
Yeah, my parents 冇咁大個乜嘢隨街跳啊，
冇咁大隻鴿啦隨街跳
隨街跳 It's easy for you to just take like that. Because now it makes sense because of course the banks will take it.
Yes.
Yeah, if it's really so good and legit.
That's right. So if you're looking at 16% a year, right, there are unit trust funds who actually gives you that. There are also good investments that give you that. They are legit. But it will be above the board lah. It will not be, this one, no.
This one I try to find for you one. This one very special.
Like very special, very rare lah.
Yeah.
Unless you know the person personally, let's say he is really, he himself is working in the fund and then he's managing the fund for you. But usually that's also not right.
Yeah,
It is.
you also don't know sometimes.
Yeah, it's not right. Yeah, the person will get into trouble by doing that. Yeah. So, yeah, just be very careful.
Okay. And with the amount of scams out there, I just want to know, is there someone to call if you finally found out that, oh my God, I've been scammed by XYZ? Usually scams, they are gone, right? But is there someone you can report to in the government?
So there's this thing called National Scam Response Center. At the moment you get scammed, what you want to do is call 997
Okay.
and they will be able to very quickly take action because it is a joint committee between police, banks and the whole banking infrastructure. So if they can stop the transaction, they will be able to stop it as soon as possible. If not, they are able to at least track it in the faster space. Don't wait. So 997 is probably your best place to go for. Give a call. Now, if let's say you are suspecting certain proposition could be a bit scammy, you can check out this thing called Money Mama. It's actually a tool that we built. It's an AI financial coach, and it has a direct API to some of the lists of this alert list. All the shady numbers, mule accounts and everything. It is directly API there. So once you put it in, it will tell you that, this account has been flagged, this phone number is flagged, or either this particular investment is a little bit shady. Yeah.
So this is something that you built?
Yes, this is something that we built
Oh,
for
perfect.
about 2 months now. And we
Nice.
haven't officially launched it yet.
How do we get to it?
So you can go to our website at moneymama.co.
Okay, moneymama.co. Hopefully by the time you guys see this, you guys can key in those numbers that you suspect may be scam or not scam. Just go and find out there and see whether there's the information online. Okay, Peter, just before you go, one thing you would definitely invest in. Don't tell me time.
So this is not investment advice, right?
It is. It's not investment advice. It's just I just want to know what
I
what is
invest in,
one
right?
thing you would definitely invest in.
There are two things that I am paying a lot of attention to right now, aside from stocks. Right? I think that's standard. I personally will definitely have a portion in Bitcoin specifically, not any other cryptos. And number two is to have some physical gold or silver. Physical, that's my
Physical.
emphasis, right? The reason being is because number one, I strongly believe that the US dominance is deteriorating. So having your currency denominated in different asset helps. Now, Bitcoin is a long bet on that. But on the other hand, gold is a good place to hedge your money. And why I say physical is because I think gold is one of those assets that you want to keep in case of really there's a war, something like that, right? In case any crazy geopolitical risk. And I mean, you look at Iran, right? When at the moment there was the big uprising, they shut off the internet. At the moment there's no internet,
There,
you can't sell your paper gold online, right?
for sure.
Yeah. So what you need is that physical gold.
Physical gold.
Yeah, so my joke is always, imagine if you're in a war situation and you need to cross a river, then the pakcik in the sampan look at you and say, bayar. And then you say,
Look at my.
bang, boleh tak saya bagi kamu Bitcoin? You say, sorry boss, saya tak tahu guna. Then you mati.
Yep.
Right? So at least you got gold, some people say like it's Rolex, whatnot. I think it's good to keep a little bit of this just in case, because the world is really quite crazy right now.
Yeah,
You really don't know what's going to happen. So keeping some sort of a physical commodity as an asset will be good. And don't buy a big jongkong emas like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, buy small
small bits.
pieces so that it's easier for you to use.
To
because
separate and use.
yeah, separate and use. Like I say, you can't be at the sampan there and then you're like, the only one you have is the big
The whole
gold,
thing
right?
of nah.
Then the uncle is going to be like, yes.
Got it. Sounds like a joke, but it's actually really good practical advice. Thank you for that.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much, Peter. Now, if you guys are listening to this episode, we had Peter today, and I had such an enjoyable conversation. Any last words before I send you off?
Learn more about finance. Don't get scammed.
All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, to all listeners, this was The Whole Story, a new podcast series brought to you by V On Air, Resorts World Genting's first ever online radio. If you like more stories about Malaysians, remember to follow us for more upcoming episodes or remember our socials at Resorts World Genting. See you next time.